Yes, hi all the students. Welcome to HCAT once again. And today we have Arsh Mathur with us. And Arsh had his interview of SIBM Bengaluru today. So we are going to discuss with Arsh and we are going to understand the process of group exercise as well as personal interview. Yes, over to you, Arsh. And yes, you start discussing the complete flow of events. What was there in group exercise? What was there in the interview? Okay, right. Start, please.
Yes, sir. I was in the second slot, so we had to join the meeting by 1:30.
Okay.
And after joining the meeting, we were asked to verify our documents. After which we were shown a couple of videos related to SIU and SIB in Bangalore. After which the GE process began. There were two panelists, one male and one female, and
Yeah.
the panelists that took the GE were the ones that were interviewing us as well. So for the GE, we were shown a set of pictures which corresponded to our esports comparable to real sport. We were shown four photos related to that. And then we were given 30 seconds each to speak on the topic, and after which a 6-minute discussion was given. And there were 13 members in the panel.
Okay, okay. So, Arsh, what kind of photos were there?
Yes, so the photos that we were shown was one guy was playing a game on the computer.
Hmm.
Then there was the Olympic logo connected to a gaming console. Then we were shown a graph which showed the revenues that the gaming industry is generating and projected to generate. And then in the last, there was a photo which gave the topic that are esports comparable to real sports.
Okay, okay, okay. So you mean to say that first for 30 seconds, each and every student was supposed to speak, and after that, okay, the group discussion was there. Okay,
Yes.
the basic question happens to be, is the virtual games, how they are related to, okay, the real world
Real
games, isn't it?
sports, and can they become a part of Olympics in the future?
So, Harsh, how was your performance? Were you able to speak on that? Any kind of or any kind of challenging situation or okay, any discomfort in speaking or during the group discussion also? Okay, how the other participants were they collaborative?
Yes, sir. It was a very easygoing process, and I was able to conceptualize myself pretty well. The only thing was that because there were 13 members and we were given only 6 minutes, so a lot of people were very courteous, more than it was required. So no one was interrupting. So there
Okay,
were three, four people left that could
uh,
not speak in that 6 minutes. So the
right.
panelists gave them only 10 seconds to put their thoughts. So no one was able to speak more than once, and no one was able to counter any arguments or anything. We were not given any time to conclude as well. So everyone just spoke once about their things.
Generally, we see that actually, while I was speaking to the other students, they said that in their group, around 8 to 10 members were there, and at least 10 minutes of time was given for the group discussion.
Yes,
So
sir.
13 members, only 5 or 6 minutes, definitely.
Yes, sir.
So then not much time was available. Okay, okay. But anyway, you were happy with your performance there?
Yes, sir. I took the initiative to start the discussion. I was able to give real life examples as well. So I was happy with whatever I was able to give.
Absolutely. So this is something which is important in a group exercise and a group discussion. I want all the students who are watching it, please ensure that if it is possible to give a start, try to give a start. And in case if you're not able to give a start, try to speak second, try to speak third. But please ensure that in the first 2, 3 minutes, you strike your presence. Okay? Done. Anyway, so Arsh, after that, let us come on the interview process now. Yes, please.
Yes, so I was in the list, the second number. So I got my interview chance very early. Uh, Then we were shifted to a break room with the panelists, and the interview began with the greetings. Then the male panelist asked me to tell me about myself. I gave that introduction. Then he asked me about that I completed my graduation in 2023, so what I was doing during that period. So I gave that answer. Then he asked me that I mentioned that I made a few mistakes in my preparation journey the first time around. So he asked me what mistakes I made. So I told him that I underestimated the importance of giving mocks. So he
Okay.
asked me that does that mean that you are not able to face real life situations head on? Does that mean you falter that? So I told him no, sir, but if we can simulate a similar environment for us and practice, that makes us even better for real life situations. So he
Very
was
nice. Very nice. Hmm.
So he was happy with that answer. Then he asked me that because you're a commerce graduate, so I will ask some questions around that. So I was like, all right. Then he asked me what's the difference between fiscal and monetary policy. So I told him that answer, but he didn't seem very satisfied. So yeah, I told him that, sir, can I explain it with an example? So he was like, fine, go ahead. So I told him that during the budget, the government announced a tax rate rebate, and they are working more towards consumer spending. While the monetary policy, the RBI actually announced a rate cut in the repo rates, and they are making borrowing cheaper. So that's the difference between them. So he was satisfied with that.
Yes, absolutely. All the students, just 1 second, Arsh.
Yes.
Yes, all the students, you people have to be thorough with these kind of conceptual things, like difference between monetary policy, fiscal policy, difference between fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, the budget deficit, the primary deficit, difference between what is balance of trade, what is balance of payment. Okay, so these kind of economic terms. And especially if you people have studied economics, so you will have to ensure that you remain thorough with these things. Okay, so Arsh, did you have economics in your subject as one of the subjects?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were a student of BCom only, I guess, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, chalo. So after this discussion, what happened?
Yes, sir. Then he asked me that does the RBI governor decide it on his own? So I told him, no, sir, there is a monetary policy committee that sits and then they decide. So he asked me how many members are there in the committee. I told him that. Then he asked me one question from accounting ratios back from class 12. So I wasn't able to recall that. So I told him, sir, it's been a while, so I'm not able to recall that. He was like, fine. He asked me what are my favorite subjects from graduation. So I told them, and I also happened to mention income tax as my subject because I was like, there is a lot of discussion about income tax, and I would be able to answer him. So there was a glimmer in his eyes as soon as I spoke about income tax. And he straight up asked me that what is section 80 CC DD1. And I
Right.
was completely stunned at that moment, like what to do right now. So I told him, sir, it's a deduction that the taxpayers claim while
Right.
filing ITR. So he asked me, no, that I know that under section 80 all are deductions. What specific instrument are we talking about here? So I was like, sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall. Then he told me that it's NPS. So I told him, yes, sir, National Pension Scheme. So he started smiling. He said, you know, National Pension Scheme, but you did not know it comes under this section. I was like, I would have to look into it. Then he asked me the five heads under income for income tax. I told him that. Then the interview shifted to the second panelist, the female panelist.
Okay.
So she asked me about my Instagram page, what I was doing, what type of content I was making, what challenges did I face during that. Then she asked me, do I want to pursue this again when I join MBA or will I leave it? So I told her, no, ma'am, I'm very passionate about this and I would continue doing this. Then she asked me, what are my career goals? What am I looking at? Why do I want to pursue an MBA? So I told her those answers. Then she asked me if you were given an opportunity to start a venture of your own, which industry would you like to work in? So I told her that I would like to work in the social entrepreneurship scape because of my volunteering experience. I would be able to leverage those experience over there. And once I reach a certain level of financial stability and knowledge base through my corporate experience, I would love to work in that scape. So she asked me a little bit about my volunteering work, and that was all. Then they were like, okay, it was great talking to you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderfully explained, and I'm so confident. Actually, Ars, to be very honest, I am more confident that your interview actually went well. And the way you were talking about your experience, even that was very impressive. And I think all the students who are watching this video, okay, but you will be benefited with whatever Arsh has told. And I believe all the students, the series which we are running on ASCAT, the basic objective is to give you a real feel of what actually happens in a personal interview. But that does not mean that similar kind of questions will surely be there for you as well. To succeed in an interview, what is more important is we have to expect the most unexpected questions and be ready to handle any kind of situation. No doubt, students, we actually prepare the students for the interviews and all. But there is one thing which really helps us in an interview, and that is situational responsiveness, your presence of mind, your spontaneity. So that is something which really plays a very important role. But in case if you are thorough with, your profile-based questions, if you're thorough with your academic questions, if you're thorough with a bit of current affairs. So I think handling the situation, any kind of question will be very much possible. And as the students of ACECAT are doing, I'm very confident we are all set to have wonderful results and wonderful conversions. So all the best, Arsh. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, just 1 second.